Welcome to Weekday Somatics. So let me begin today by sharing with you my intention for today and in general. My intention is to recognize the truth in you, to acknowledge the truth in you, and to call forth the truth in you, so that that truth in you blesses you and blesses your world. Because we truly are one. And as you allow that truth in you to be called forth, to be acknowledged, to be recognized, and to bless your life and the world, this world becomes a beautiful place. Heaven on earth. It's what our hearts and souls long for, because it's real. It's a real possibility. It exists within us, and we can call it forth and bring it into manifestation in this world. Now, if that seems like a big task, then remember that the one who thinks that is not the one I'm addressing. That one who thinks it's a big task that it's not up to, that one can rest. So sometimes we, and even I, can wonder how is this still somatics? It seems a lot bigger than somatics, a lot bigger than our idea of somatics. But what we're learning to do is learning to allow the proper functioning, the proper order, so that the aspects of ourselves which we have habitually strained and overexerted out of fear can become reestablished in their proper place, in their proper order, their proper function, so that they too can experience themselves as their divine nature, perfect, supported, cared for in every way. And we do that by allowing rest, because our lives are not meant to be strenuous. That's a wrong idea. It's a wrong idea that's propagated by what we can call evil. And it's our responsibility, when we are experiencing that evil, when we experience ourselves gripped in fear, anger, frustration, discouragement, disappointment, all of these things that we've accepted as unavoidable, even necessary. It's our responsibility to recognize what's going on and then to take a stand for who we really are. Because if we won't do it, who will? If we won't be true to our own hearts, who will? And the connection, the somatic connection, how somatics is at the crux of the matter, is that it literally is that interface between heaven and earth. Through our somatic awareness, we discover how we've been waging war in the name of peace. And we learn to take responsibility for that in a way that's not about our ego. Because if we try to do it from the level of ego, forget about it. You know that. So somatics is an enormous blessing. It helps us to get everything organized in the correct way so that we're not struggling unnecessarily, waging war. So let's choose a posture of peace. And recognize that to bring peace in the face of war requires firmness, vigilance, courage. That's why we don't collapse. We don't go to sleep. We remain awake, present to our experience. So choose a posture that you have confidence that you can inhabit with courage, with firmness, with conviction, and with gentleness, so that it's sustainable for the next little while. Because we have to be in this for the long run, for eternity. Imagine that, eternity. From the perspective of the conditioned mind, eternity sounds horrific. And that's why we shy away from it. So let us have the courage to really choose something sustainable for eternity. Because this posture, the outer expression, what somebody might see if they were looking at you, is a superficial layer. At the heart of it, we're choosing a very subtle posture. We have to become very subtle and recognize how we are straining habitually, making unnecessary effort to keep ourselves upright, to try hard, to get it right. And instead, we have to be very, very truthful. We're in this for eternity. We want heaven on earth for eternity. We have to be committed to that. We have to take a stand and say, no more hell, no more war, not on my watch. And then we have to watch with vigilance. And at first that seems scary. We have doubts. Why me? Why is it like this, we wonder. But just be willing to tell the truth. You won't be satisfied by anything less. So finally, honor yourself, honor your deepest truth, and recognize that subtle posture that is a posture of eternal confidence, eternal ease. Don't make excuses. Don't say, I can't. Don't say it's too hard. Don't say, oh, he doesn't really mean it. A subtle posture of eternal peace, eternal unconditional love. So we have to actually look and recognize where that is, what that is. It's here in us. I promise you. I promise you. I give you my word that this posture of eternal peace, eternal joy, eternal bliss, it exists in you now, always. And you can discover it. So you can trace all of the trying, the gripping, the efforting, the fearing, and all the rest of it back to its subtler roots and see what's before that. What's before the first stirrings of strain? What's before the first stirrings of resistance? What's before the first stirrings of fear? Because all of those things came into being. They have a beginning. And we can go back before the beginning of them in our direct experience, just by observing our somatic awareness. You'll be amazed just how profoundly simple it is. It's profoundly simple and yet very rich. And the flip side of that is sometimes challenging. So don't dismay if it seems challenging. It just means you're very, very close. So notice what happens. Notice your habit, your reactivity when the challenge arises. What do you do? What thoughts do you think? What inner actions do you take? Do you turn away? Do you start to fantasize? Do you think defeating thoughts? Do you armor yourself? Do you ready yourself to fight? Do you grit your teeth and try to endure? Just see what you do and be open to a new possibility. And this is what's meant by being like a child. It means going before before all of the false evidence, before all of the hardness, before the fear has grown into larger proportions, before the war has grown out of control to be innocent, before all of the ideas of what I think I know. To see how all of those ideas are nothing but more weapons, more armor, defending my position. To hell with everybody else. That's the attitude. I'm going to fight for me and mine. It's a dog eat dog world. We have to go before that. And that is in us. It exists in us. It's only an idea that says it's not here. It's only an idea that says it's too late. It's only an idea that says I have to struggle with all these things. The truth is that we can see the false as false right now. So first we have to go before. We have to take a step back so that we can see all of our false evidence, see all of the lies, the wrong ideas, the habits, the conditioning, all of the impulses arising, and our compulsive reaching out to try and do something about it, to wrestle with it, grapple with it, manage it, fix it, hide it, control it. We have to step back, go before, and just witness. It all has to be seen. But we can't see it when we're reacting, when we take it personally, when we think that it's ours and that it matters and that we're at war and that our very lives are at stake. We have to step back so that we can see it clearly. So really take that step back. Recognize that whatever is arising, the sensations, the memories, the ideas, all of it is not what you think it is. And you cannot see it clearly until you take a step back. Now, eventually, and for some of you, you are already experiencing this, you discover that there is a still point. We could call it 0 point. We could call it pure consciousness. We could call it stillness. We could call it silence. We could call it nothing. Or perhaps nothingness. We could call it pure potential. And whatever we call it, it's an actual experience. It is in us, or we are in it. We are it. When we are seeing purely before the conditioning, we are it. We are that. So this is essential. We have to recognize this. We have to take a step back and see clearly without reacting, without indulging the habits, without believing our usual ideas, without having a stake in it, without choosing a side in the war. And then we can see just how absolutely hopeless it is at that level of warfare. Otherwise, we'll just keep doing it. We'll just keep poking around, trying to fix it, all the while making things worse. This is true of all of the supposed problems, the physical problems, the emotional problems, the relationship problems, the financial problems. So whatever problems you think you have, physical pain, digestive problems, painful relationship patterns, feeling stuck in a career that's not satisfying, whatever the problems are, see how all of them reveal their true nature to you when you choose to take a step back and rest without getting involved. So this is essential. You cannot skip this step and expect to get positive results. However, this in and of itself is not all that's needed to find true satisfaction. It's true that there is satisfaction here, and this satisfaction is complete, and yet at the same time, paradoxically, it's not complete. It's complete in itself, but it longs to express. And what it longs to express is itself. So even though it is complete, like a seed, it desires to express and therefore become more complete. Complete in potential, complete in expression. So we did the hard work of getting disentangled from the war. We found a truce. We laid down the weapons. But this piece is not yet fully complete. It's just complete in potential. Our desire is to express and manifest that peace. So now we must get clear within ourselves on what is our true desire. See how all of our previous attempts failed because we lacked adequate clarity on our true desire, When we didn't have adequate clarity on our true desire, we betrayed ourselves. We desired love. We knew that, but look how it went astray. Look how it went wrong. Look how it became codependent and dysfunctional. And look how its development and expression was arrested at early stages because we became confused, afraid that there wasn't enough or that we weren't enough. So we have to be willing to rest here a little bit longer to get clear on what the true intention is. Now I'll use the word love, but you can use any other word that rings more true for you. My intention is love, true love, unconditional love, pure love, divine love. So let me get clear on that. How do I get clear on that? I have to look at my divine nature. And I look to my heart to see what is my true longing, my true expression of divine love. And it's exactly what I desire to receive, is what I desire to express. What is it I desire to receive? I desire to receive unconditional love. Love that does not judge me. Love that does not condemn me. Love that does not betray me. Love that does not abandon me. Love that is complete and sweet and whole and perfect. Everlasting. Always. This is the true nature of the love that I desire to express, because it's the form of love that I desire to receive. With this clarity, we can now begin to consciously express that truth from within so that it can begin to manifest into our outer lives. So first, we have to remain connected to the source. So what I desire to express is what I desire to receive. I have to be willing to stay connected and receiving that. If I cut myself off from that receiving, I cannot express it fully. And that's where we've gone wrong in the past. We cut ourselves off from the source for all of these wrong reasons, because we perceived that we had done something wrong, shameful, unforgivable. We thought we had to hide. We thought we had to fix it on our own. And the real truth, the truth that heals, the truth that reveals, the truth that manifests this pure love, is the truth of receiving that pure love. Allowing that pure love to wash clean all of our errors. So when we misstep, when we make mistakes, when we hurt others, we have to make atonement. And how do we do that? By receiving, remaining connected. So at each step, in every moment, we have to remain connected to the source, which is itself unconditional love. Endless abundance, eternal abundance of unconditional love. And we are connected to that. We have to perceive that connection. We have to open to that connection consciously. We have to open the heart, allowing for that love to pour forth through us, not cutting ourselves off from it, not only pure love out there, but pure love everywhere, in here, out there, one pure love. Not making exceptions for myself, not cutting myself off, not excusing any wrong choices to deny myself that which I desire, which is to receive that pure love and to express that pure love. So feel that. Even if your mind objects, even if your mind hesitates, even if your mind wants to dismiss it, just trust and know that it's happening. You just have to be willing. Your intention is more than enough. Whatever your experience or your perception is, your willingness and your intention is adequate. Just intend. I choose to receive and remain open eternally to receiving and expressing divine love. It is my divine birthright. And I choose the courage to accept it. So again, to review, we take a step back. We choose a ceasefire, a truce. We disentangle ourselves from the war. We see that it was wrong, mistaken, and we return to our innocence like a child, simply witnessing, not getting involved. We see the impulses, the mistaken conditioning that we've indulged in the past, and we choose to remain restful, uninvolved. From this pure seeing, we then acknowledge that although this is complete, our completeness must grow, it must blossom, it must expand through expression. And so we get clear on what it is that we desire to express, and it's what we desire to receive. Because what we express is what we receive. We express it in the world reflects it back to us. So we must be willing to receive it from the source, which we are intimately one with in this moment. We have to recognize and acknowledge that this pure consciousness, this awareness that is the seeing that I am, is the only power that exists. So my desire to express the qualities, the truthful qualities, the beautiful and pleasing qualities that I find in my heart is the divine purpose of my life. It is good to accept that. It is good to receive that. I will not be fulfilled otherwise. This is the purpose of my life. Nothing else matters more than this. And seeing this, we choose to remain connected to this source, this truth, this recognition, and to allow that to flow through us and blessing our world, so that we and our worlds are in perfect alignment with that divine intention. Now our manifest world is like a garden. It is a garden. And in fact, the Garden of Eden is a real thing, a real place. And we all can go there. We all can access it. And we can allow that Garden of Eden to be real at all levels. But in order to do so, we have to remain aware. Because in this garden are the seeds, the divine seeds of our true purpose. And at the same time, in this garden are the seeds of temptation. And it's up to us which seeds we will allow to grow and which we will not. How do we allow the seeds to grow? First of all, we have to trust and have faith that we remain connected to our source, to the source of all creation, to the one power that is. We have to feel that and sense that and know that, so that it's not just an idea. So really feel and sense that now. That your nature, your essential nature, is boundless, infinite. that all of creation springs forth from this. Next, we have to remain in remembrance of our true desire, our heart desire, the Garden of Eden. We have to remain true to what that is so that we don't betray it. Because gardens take time to grow. So if we forget the vision, if we forget the truth, then we forget what we should be doing. We forget what our responsibility is. We forget what we even desire. And then what happens is that the plants start growing up willy-nilly. We don't have the confidence and the clarity to know which to weed and which to feed. So we have to remain true and connected to that heart desire, who we really are and who we are in this world. And we have to have patience and watch. Because at first we don't know what this plant is that's sprouting. Is it what we desire or not? Sometimes we think, oh, it's not what I desire. Sometimes we think this is a bad plant. And then we pull it up, but oh, we pulled it up too soon. It was the plant that we desired. We hadn't recognized it yet. We had just made a judgment. So we have to have patience. We have to let them grow. We have to see what they really are. We have to allow them to open to us and us to open to them so that we can recognize what they really are. And then when we see what they really are, we have to make a choice. We cannot allow everything to grow here. Because if we do, we're allowing the seeds of hate, the seeds of violence, the seeds of lying, the seeds of warfare, the seeds of lack and poverty. So we have to wait until it becomes clear for sure what they really are, and then we have to take action. So we remain connected to the source. We remain connected to our vision of truth in our heart. We have patience and faith as we allow this expression to take shape. And then we prune and groom and weed and feed, consciously choosing. So allow for that garden to begin to take shape within you. See it and feel it and sense it now. Know that it is happening. This is a real thing that's happening. It's not just make-believe. There's a real Garden of Eden in you. And you can bring it forth. You can choose it. It's a real experience. It's a real thing. It's a real place. And it can really be here on earth, when we all choose that, when we choose to cultivate what is in alignment with our deepest truth. Whatever your imagined problems might be, whatever your imagined objections, know and trust and have faith that all can be overcome when you follow this simple formula. So find, first of all, right now in yourself, that innocent purity, that which is not involved, that which is witness, that which is not at war, that which has nothing at stake. Let that clear seeing dissolve all of the habits of indulgence, all of the reactivity. And then next, right now, recognize, look to your heart. What is this deepest truth of who you are in this world that you long to express? And that's what you desire to receive. Safety, okayness, love, peace, ease, grace, freedom, connection. Sense it in its seed form. Perceive it in your heart. This is the subtlest posture. And it's beautiful. It feels very, very good. You can trust it. Now allow it to begin to grow and blossom within you so that it expands from your heart and begins to slowly, gently move outward so that bit by bit, perhaps you can even sense or envision beautiful, pleasing vines and flowers beginning to fill your inner body with radiant, beautiful colors. Divine colors and light. And it continues to grow and blossom and expand so that it fills your entire inner body. All of the organs, all of the bones, all of the muscles, all of the connective tissue, and begins to become visible through your skin so that all of these divine colors and light become visible through your skin and then outward all around your body so that your entire body is surrounded by a divine glow. Let it illuminate your thoughts so that your thoughts are beautiful. Let it illuminate your memories so that your memories are beautiful. Remember, it's a garden, so even if something dark was planted there before, even if it was covered in thorns and all kinds of ugliness and violence was hiding in it, it doesn't need to remain that way. We can transform the garden, which is what we're doing. So let the old go and let it be replaced and renewed by the beauty of this new garden. So that the memories are the memories of the new garden. And the thoughts are the thoughts of the new garden. And all of your experience can be an experience of this new garden, so that it can be pleasing to you. Let the garden fill your entire home. Let the garden fill your entire neighborhood. Let the garden fill the entire town or city where you live. Let the garden fill this entire earth. And really see and sense and feel that. See this entire earth made beautiful. And you can even allow and imagine and sense that garden filling and occupying all of creation, so that every planet, everywhere, every star, every place is beautiful, radiant, with beautiful divine colors. And become aware of your body and the room or the space you're in. Notice the sensations in your body and allow your perception of your body and the sensations and the space your body is in to be colored by this new discovery. this new creation. Make that choice. Don't just allow yourself to be sucked into the old habits. Make a conscious choice to perceive yourself and your world in this new way. Claim it as your new truth. Claim it as truthful and good. It is good to express peace and love and harmony. It's good to see that in yourself and in others. It's good. So accept that and claim it. Notice what's different in your experience now and in your perception now than before we began. And acknowledge that, and acknowledge that it's real. Whatever fears or cynicism might arise in response or reaction to that, just tell the deeper truth. These changes are real. This perception is real. This truth is real. And I can return to recognizing it and acknowledging it and receiving it and expressing it anytime that I am willing. And the more that I am willing and the more that I choose this, the more confident I become in its reality, the more confident others become in its reality, and the more that this becomes the truth for more and more people. It is a blessing and a gift in this world. So become aware again of the physical body, become aware of the head. The ears, the tongue, the lips, the eyeballs. Become aware of the throat and the neck. Become aware of the shoulders. Become aware of the upper arms. Become aware of the elbows. Become aware of the lower arms and the hands and fingers. Become aware of the chest, the upper back. Become aware of the abdomen and the lower back. Become aware of the pelvis. Become aware of the thighs. Become aware of the knees. Become aware of the lower legs. Become aware of the feet. Become aware of your connection to the surface you are on. Become aware of that connection all the way to the core of the earth. Be aware of how that connection connects you to all that is on earth, how we are all connected. Become aware again of your hands and fingers, and slowly move the fingers to reacquaint yourself with moving the body. Be aware of the whole body, and whatever sensations you become aware of, let yourself relax as deeply as possible. Let it all go. Don't try to control anything. Don't try to manage it. Just relax. Let your face relax. And if you would like to, then you may gently rub the palms together and then place the hands over the eyes. Rest the hands on the eyes and cheeks for a moment. And then let the hands come back to rest. And if you've had your eyes closed, then you may, if you wish, begin to slowly open them, so long as you don't disturb anything. Remember not to fling them open, because that will disturb the integration of this experience. So it's a very powerful inner experience, and we want to integrate that into our outer experience. So in order to do so, we want to open the eyes slowly with awareness, remaining aware of both the inside and the outside simultaneously. So by now, I think everybody probably knows my general recommendations. Not going to change a lot today, but I'll say a few things anyway, because they're helpful reminders. We can forget so easily. So you are very powerful. Far more powerful than you imagine. No matter how powerful you imagine yourself to be, you are far more powerful than that. So it's good to take responsibility, because if I don't take responsibility, then I suffer. If you don't take responsibility, you suffer. If we don't take responsibility, then everybody suffers. When we take responsibility, we put an end to suffering. So what does that mean? It means that whatever happens, be aware and take responsibility by not blaming others or blaming circumstances. And don't blame yourself either. Responsibility doesn't mean blaming yourself. It means to acknowledge your own power and that what you are presently witness to is the fruits of your previous garden. So we don't need to condemn anything or anyone. We simply need to tell the truth, just observe and see, this is my garden. I'm the one who planted it. I'm the one who fed it. I'm the one who pruned it and weeded it. I did it. So if it's not pleasing to me, good news. I can choose anew now. But in order to do that, I have to go through this simple process. First, take a step back, be witness. See that this is simply the fruits of my creation. This is my garden in full bloom. And if it's not pleasing to me, I don't need to go to war with it. I need to take responsibility so that I can have a garden that's pleasing to me. So don't go to war with yourself or with others. Sometimes what we have produced in our garden is not so pleasing to us. It frightens us, it pains us. So don't dismay whatever your experience is. Just take responsibility by being witness. Just see it, be witness. And then choose what is pleasing, choose what is true. And what is going to support you in that, because it is true and pleasing, is to be very gentle. In our gardens, we can't be waging war, or all we're going to have is a battlefield, not a garden. So we have to be gentle. It's not take out our frustrations and anger in the wrong ways. Let's be aware and present to what it is that we need. We need gentleness, we need rest. So as we started out, we've put things in the wrong order. We're straining so hard with the parts that don't need to strain. So be gentle, be nourishing, be kind to yourself. Give yourself rest. Don't push yourself. Don't think that more is better. More is not always better. If what you already have is violence, more is not going to be better. If what you have is self-condemnation, more is not going to be better. So we have to just see our habits and then be gentle. Don't indulge them. Nourish ourselves. Even if our minds are saying, I'm no good, I don't deserve it, nothing, whatever, I can't. All of the lies we tell ourselves. Be gentle anyway. Be loving anyway, because it's what's true. Love yourself anyway. Take care of yourself anyway. Whatever the thoughts are, those thoughts are not true. Just honor your commitment to yourself. Make that commitment now. From now on, I commit to being gentle with myself, to being loving with myself, to being accepting of myself, to see my own innocence and to go before all of the mistakes so that I can see the mistakes without judging them, without being entangled in them, without having to defend anything. So that I can just be witness and see, yeah, that was a mistake. That wasn't what I wanted. So make sure you're doing that. And then what are the expressions of that? There are many of them, but among them, some simple things, which I say, make sure you're nourishing yourself with food that you feel good about. That's the most important thing when it comes to your nutrition, because no matter what you eat, if you're not blessing the food and you're not blessing your body, it's not gonna work. It's like it's like to extend the garden metaphor. There are plants that have uh, relationships with uh, what they call mycorrhizomes, okay, which are organisms that um, that that are necessary for those plants in order to be able to uptake certain nutrients. So without those, they starve. We're like that, aren't we? We've got all of these bacteria and yeasts and so forth inside of us that we depend upon. Without them, we aren't healthy. So the whatever we eat, if we're not blessing it, if we're not blessing ourselves, the blessing is like those microorganisms. It's essential for us to receive the nutrition. Otherwise, we cut ourselves off from it. Then we're hardened and we can't absorb it. So the blessing is very important, and it's the most essential thing, whatever you're eating. We have all these false, rigid ideas about diet, and we think that that's going to save us, and it doesn't save anybody. Blessing is way more important. And then you'll be guided. If you do that, if you're blessing your food and blessing your body, you'll be guided to the perfect thing. You're going to be naturally attracted to the right things. If you're blessed, you know, you're just eating candy bars all the time and you're blessing the candy bars and you're blessing your body. What's going to start to happen is you're going to, first of all, just that is you're going to start to become healthier. Still eating candy bars, but you bless them and you bless your body. You're going to become healthier and stronger and happier. And then naturally, you're going to start to be more attracted. You're going to say, maybe Snickers isn't for me today. Maybe I'm going to eat the vegetables today because that's attractive to me now. So don't worry about the superficial things. Just keep it simple. Bless the food, bless your body. Take a bath or a shower if you feel too much energy, and feel and experience that bath or that shower as a blessing, because it truly is. And it's like your intention matters way more than anything else. So it's the same, the water is powerful, it's cleansing, but your intention magnifies it a million times. So if you have the intention that this bath is cleansing, this bath is nourishing, this bath is healing, then it will be a million times more than otherwise. And that's the truth. You put it to the test, you'll find out. Your life will be so beautiful if you do these things, really. So you take care of yourself. You take a nap if you need to take a nap. If the answer to something is no, then the answer is no, and honor that. It's okay to have boundaries. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say yes if the answer is yes. Honor that, but really be truthful and don't worry about it. Don't waste any time on it. You're always in the right place at the right time with the right people. It's always exactly perfect. So you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry, should I do this or should I do that? Don't worry about it. Don't have any regrets. Whatever you choose, if you choose it from a loving heart, you can know and trust that it's good and that it blesses you and it blesses this world. And don't have any fear or regret about any of it. And that is what it means to be gentle and truly nourishing. That's what true self-care and true self-love really is. It can be that simple, really. It's your intention. Just have that intention, and then you'll see that whatever happens is exactly perfect. So you just keep watching it and you'll see the things as they grow, and as they grow and you discover their true nature, then it's up to you to follow your heart and choose, so that you weed what's not true and you feed what is true. So don't think that just because everything is perfect and exactly as it should be, that means that you should just keep saying yes to everything. You have to say no to some things. You have to say no to what doesn't serve your true desire. And that means saying no to violence. It means saying no to regret. It means saying no to worry. It means saying no to fear. It means saying no to all of those habits that drain you and that transform your garden into an ugly place. It's up to you. It's good for it to be pleasing to you. And as I say often, also for those who don't have access to the messenger group, if you're in a pinch and you're really needing support, you can reach out to me. Know that I'm here. I care. You're not alone. So you can always send an email. Okay, so I'm going to end the recording with a formal inquiry. Thank you for being here. And